I am not skilled to understand what God has willed, what God has planned. I only know at His right hand stands one who is my Saviour. I take Him at His word and deed. Christ died to save me, this I read. And in my heart I find a need of Him to be my Saviour.
So for today's vlog, I am in Israel. I know, it sounds a bit random, but me and my mum have come on a holy tour with a TV channel called Revelation TV. And firstly, I want to apologise for how tired I look, but get used to this because it's going to be a busy 10 days. We're here for 10 days and it's going to be early mornings, lots of walking around, but it's so going to be worth it. I think it's going to be such a special and surreal experience to be here. But as I say, I didn't get much sleep over the past 24 hours because we had to get on a flight last night in Heathrow at 11 o'clock. We didn't land in Israel until 5 o'clock Israel time, so I didn't get any sleep on the plane. But I did watch Inside Out, which is a really good film actually. Made me cry at the end, but I get emotional at most films, so I always end up crying. And then we got on a coach that took about 8 hours to get to this hotel, this beautiful hotel that we're in, Leonardo Hotel I think it's called. But we didn't get any sleep at all on the coach either. We stopped off for breakfast. We had a buffet, all you can eat breakfast, and it was delicious. So that was amazing. But let me show you the view of this hotel. We've got a pool, which I don't think we're going to be using, even though it's December here in Israel. It was in its 20s today, and I think it's going to be like that for the rest of the week. It might be quite rainy at times, but I think we're going to have quite nice sunny weather. So as I said earlier, we are here on a holy tour. We're going to start off in Jordan and spend 3 days there. Then we're going to go over to Israel and go to Nazareth and Jerusalem. And I'm very excited to show you all the sites we're going to be seeing and the places we're going to be visiting. So let's get on with it.
My Saviour loves, my Saviour lives, my Saviour's always there for me. My God, He was, my God, He is, my God, He's always gonna be. My Saviour loves, my Saviour lives, my Saviour's always there for me.
I'm currently walking in between this massive gorge. Reminds me of the Lion King, you know, the bit where Simba's running and the antelope come after him. We're currently in Petra. Been here all day, got here around 11. It's now 3 o'clock and we're heading back. But we met our tour guide today. His name's Sam. He's a very funny person. Oh, fly just flew in my face. And he's been showing us these gorges. There's been like different sculptures that have been sculpted out, different gods and stuff. Back in the Nabatean, what were the name of the people? Nabateans. And there's lots of these horses coming around in carriages, as you can hear, coming along. And camel rides, if you want a camel ride. I kind of wish I had now. There's another horse. There it goes. But no, we were doing a lot of walking today. We stopped off at a little sort of cafe type thing. Had a hummus wrap, that was really nice. And yeah, as I say, we're now heading back towards the coach. We've also seen lots of different shapes in the rocks that we saw. One side looks like a whale, and you walk around the other side and it looks like an elephant. I'll put a picture in the vlog so you can see what I'm talking about, but that was pretty cool. So it's day 3 on our trip to Jordan/Israel. We're still in Jordan. We left our hotel in Petra this morning. It was up at 6 a.m. again, nice and early. But we're currently travelling to Amman. And today we're going to be going and looking at mosaics, which I actually really like mosaics. I've always wanted to do one, never had a chance to. So we're going to go look at some mosaics. And I think it's going to take about 4 hours to get there. We've been travelling for an hour and a half already. But we just stopped off for a coffee break and a toilet break, and then we're going to get back on the coaches. That's our coaches. But again, it's a lovely sunny day here in Jordan, although tomorrow it's supposed to rain. that's our first bit of rain. But apparently I think they're going to love it in Jordan because the tour guide was saying on the coach they have a shortage of water and it's really hard for them to get water. So when it rains, all the Jordanians are going to be really happy. It's going to be Usher English complaining about the weather as usual with our umbrellas up. I think the Jordanians are going to love it. I'm currently on Mount Nebo. Moses took the Israelites after they were travelling for 40 years in the desert and in the wilderness. God promised them that they'd get into the promised land and Moses was leading them there. And that is what we can see it's a bit misty so it's not very clear, but the promised land is in that direction. And this is a really special place to come to actually because there's also a sort of shrine that people have built here for Moses. This is the outside of the shrine. That's to remind us of the staff that God commanded Moses to drop down, which then turned into a snake. We are now in our hotel for the night in Amman. We arrived about 15 minutes ago and we've unpacked and everything, and then we're going to get ready for dinner and then go down for dinner and then have a nice sleep. But before that, as I mentioned earlier, when we was at the shrine of Moses, there was a kind of a statue thing there of a staff with a snake around it, and I mentioned that God had told Moses to throw the staff down, but in case you don't really know what I'm talking about, I just want to explain it to you a little bit. And what better way to do it than from straight out of the Bible. So I'm going to read you Exodus chapter 4 verse 1 onwards. It says, "Then Moses answered, 'What if the people of Israel do not believe or listen to me? What if they say the Lord did not appear to you?' The Lord said to him, 'What is that in your hand?' Moses answered, 'It's my walking stick.' The Lord said, 'Throw it on the ground.' So Moses threw it on the ground and it became a snake. Moses ran from the snake, but the Lord said to him, 'Reach out and grab the snake by its tail.' When Moses reached out and took hold of the snake, it became a stick in his hand again. The Lord said, 'This is so the Israelites will believe that the Lord has appeared to you. I am the God of their ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob.'" So basically, this was just before Moses went into Egypt to ask Pharaoh to free the Israelites from the slavery. And Moses was a little bit scared about doing it because he didn't know that people were going to believe him, that God had appeared to him. So that's why God said to Moses, "Throw your stick on the ground, it turned into a snake. And if you do that in front of the people in Egypt and the Israelites, they will believe that I've spoken to you," basically, that God spoke to him. So I just wanted to explain that a little bit because I said it kind of flippantly earlier and I realised some people watching this might not have understood what I meant. So just wanted to explain that to you. We are currently in a town called Jerash and it's got some remnants of Greek and Roman buildings which we've been looking around. We went to see a Roman theatre, which was really interesting for me because I love seeing the performance side of things. I went up the steps to see how high people would sit to look at the theatre. It's quite high up there. I would be a bit nervous about sitting up there for a while, but I had to be very careful because it is actually raining, as you can see. I don't know if you can tell. It's raining the first time we've had a bit of rain here in Jordan. But to be honest, I was expecting rain today because I checked the weather, but I thought it was going to be chucking it down. It's actually not that bad. It's only spitting a little bit, but I'm here in my poncho and in my coat to stay dry. But in this area there would be sort of shops and temples and markets. It's our tour guide told us. So as you can see, it's very beautiful in the background. I feel like I'm in a film. I don't feel like this is real. I feel like so surreal. Like yesterday when we was looking at the promised land, it didn't look real, it looked like a picture, but it's really nice to be here, and I'll be showing you some more as we go along. But tonight we are heading back to Israel. Today is our last day of Jordan, so I'll show you Israel when we get there. So currently we are here in Capernaum where Jesus did a lot of his ministry here, and in the background, as we can see, this is Peter's house, one of Jesus's disciples. Jesus often visited Peter in his house, and it is believed that that room in the middle there is where Jesus stayed. So it's really amazing to be literally stood just a couple of feet away from where Jesus would have been. We've just had a lovely lunch. It's in St. Peter's restaurant, which is just behind me. It's we had some what is known as St. Peter's fish come fresh from the Sea of Galilee, which was very nice. You could either have it filleted and have no bones, or you could choose to have it unfilleted and have the head and the fins on it. I chose to have no bones because I don't like bones in my fish, but it was very nice, very fresh. And we had lunch just after coming off our boat ride. We went on a boat over the Sea of Galilee, which I'll put in the vlog so you can have a look and see what views we had. What happened here was Jesus was on a boat with the disciples, and there was a storm, and he calmed the storm just with his words. And also he walked on the water, this actual water, the Sea of Galilee behind me is what Jesus walked on. And then I think it's known St. Peter because Peter walked on the water as well when he had faith. Now we've come to a little beachy area next to the Sea of Galilee. It's hardly a beach. Not exactly the sand you'd find at, I'm going to say Southend, but Southend are full of stones, not sand. Hi, Mum. Hello. It's your vlog debut, isn't it? How are you finding Israel?
Very nice.
So I think the plan for the afternoon is to go down to the Jordan River, and there's an option of getting baptised, full immersion into the water, and I think Mum wants to do that. She was baptised as a baby, but not as an adult, not as her choice to do so. So she is going to get baptised, and if she lets me, I'll show you that as well. This is where Mum's going to get baptised, in the River Jordan.
When you are offered a gift from the Lord Jesus, it's the simplest thing and yet the most difficult thing to just receive it. And that's all he asks us, to receive his gift of salvation.
In the Jordan River. I think it was a bit cold, she said, and it went in her ears. I said she looks cleaner. But on a more serious note, this is something very special that Mum's always wanted to do, get baptised in the Jordan River. And it's just an outward sign of her faith to Jesus and her love for God. So very proud of her for doing it. I think she's very happy and very excited. There's quite a few other people that were getting baptised too, and we all sort of stood around and watched and sang hymns. So it's a very special time at the moment. So now we are at the top of Mount Carmel, and what happened here is very much related to Elijah the prophet. So he basically led some prophets of Baal, which was a false god that a lot of people at the time was worshipping, and he led them up here to prove that the true God was our God. Beautiful view up here, beautiful sunny day today, no rain so far. And talking of rain, something else that happened up here was that there'd been drought for many years and there'd been no rain, but Elijah prayed for rain, and he sent his slave to come up to the mountain 7 times, and on the 7th time there was a cloud, which meant there was rain coming, and that was a big thing for them because there was drought for many years. But when the rain came, Israel needs rain for the plants to grow, and they rely a lot on the plants for their food. So this is a view from Mount Carmel. viewing the Mediterranean Sea, which, as you can see, is the blue bit in the distance there. But it's this direction that the very small rain cloud would have come from, because the rain would have been coming from the sea. And the reason there was lots of drought was because the people were worshipping Baal, the false god. But then because Elijah prayed to God, let the rain clouds come. And they also, of course, rely on water for drinking, as well as the plants for food. So we've just stopped off for lunch and had some nice falafel in pita bread. Very nice. And this is Lucy. She's also on the tour. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Enjoying
So,
myself.
Lucy, how old are you?
I'm 24.
And why have you come on this trip to Israel?
I've come mainly for my dad because it means a lot to him, but it does mean a lot to me as well. And it's such a lovely, lovely place. Really enjoying it and having a laugh as well.
It's been funny, isn't it? The tour guides have been so funny, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been brilliant.
So basically I wanted to do this bit in the vlog because there's not actually that many young people here. When I was in the airport, I thought I was going to be the youngest because I was looking around, I was like, everyone's older than me. But then I saw Lucy, I was like, I need to chat to Lucy, see how old she is. And when she said she was 24, I was like, oh, you're younger than me. But why at your age did you, I know you came for your dad, but why is it special for you here as well?
I think for me it's, yesterday we went across the Sea of Galilee. It's not even, I suppose it's lovely for people of any age. I think you don't have to be, you don't have to read things your whole life, be in your 40s, your 50s and 60s like most people here.
Yeah.
I think you can appreciate it at any age. And what a special thing, like to see all the mountains and the places where Jesus and everyone else has been written about.
Yeah.
It's lovely, whether, people who believe in it or not, I think it's a lovely place.
Yeah. And what's been your best bit so far?
Definitely the Sea of Galilee. Yesterday was just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
We went out in the boat and we went halfway into the Sea of Galilee, and it is a huge lake, but we turned the engines off in the middle and everyone just had a still moment.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
And I think it meant to a lot of people for different reasons, and people sang a couple of songs, so yeah, that was definitely a special moment for me. And the fish, we had St. Peter's fish.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had the head on though, didn't you, and the fins?
Yeah,
and
the eyeballs
had it
were.
fluid.
Yeah.
But the plan for the rest of the day is to go to Nazareth. No, we're in Nazareth. Israel? No, we're in Israel. What's wrong with me? The heat gets mad. Where are we going?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem. There we go. I'm glad she's here. I'm not sure where we're going. And I think it's quite a long drive from here, but we're just going to go to the hotel and chill tonight, I think.
Yeah, it's shut back today, so it's just going to be shut down, but we'll go to the hotel and probably eat a lot more nice food there.
Yes. So as we said, tonight is Shabbat, so basically that is the Jewish sort of Sabbath, isn't it? As Christians we have it on the Sunday, but they have it from the Friday night to the Saturday night?
Yeah, I think that's how long it lasts.
But thank you, Lucy.
Thank you. Bye.
This is the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus came with his disciples, and he had some time away from them for some prayer, but he was in great distress because he knew that he was about to be betrayed by Judas, and that happened shortly afterwards here in the garden. And he was sweating out blood because he knew what was going to happen, and obviously he was very anxious and scared and stressed, and he was praying, please be another way, but he wanted to do God's will, and that's what he did, and he died on the cross to save us. It's very special to be here. But yeah, this is the garden where Judas brought the Roman soldiers to arrest Jesus and betrayed him. Gethsemane, I think in Hebrew means oil press, and basically with the oil, when it's pressed out, it sweats the oil out of the olives. So there's lots of olive trees here because the Mount of Olives is just nearby as well. And there's a metaphor there because when Jesus came to the garden, he sweat out blood out of stress and upset, of course, because he knew what was going to happen to him. So it's kind of a metaphor there. So it's our second day here in Jerusalem, and we've just stopped off at a kibbutz hotel to have some lunch, which was very nice. Before that, we, as you saw, went to the Garden of Gethsemane. After that, we went to the upper room, which is where Jesus would have had his Last Supper before he was crucified. They were basically celebrating Passover. That was a tradition that the Jews would celebrate each year, and that's what Jesus was doing when the Last Supper happened. And that's what Christians do when they have communion, is remember him breaking the bread and drinking the wine. So we went to the upper room where that would have taken place with his disciples. Near there, we also went to King David's tomb. I didn't film in the upper room, by the way, because it was a bit noisy, so you wouldn't have been able to hear me. And in King David's tomb, wasn't allowed to take photos or video, so I didn't film that either. So that's why I wanted to tell you about it now, where I've been. And we also went to a church which was dedicated to when Peter denied Jesus 3 times, like Jesus had said that Peter would do. It was quite cool because at the top of the church was a cockerel, because of course he'd done it 3 times before the cockerel crowed in the morning. And also down there was a pit where Jesus would have been put after he'd been arrested. He would have been put into a pit, so we saw that as well. So lots of interesting things that we've been seeing today, and I think we're now going to head to the tomb of Jesus. This could be the tomb of Jesus. The guide was saying, I don't know for sure, but it matches the description in the book. But this garden is to celebrate the fact he is risen. He's not in the tomb anymore. But that sign is Jesus Christ. Top bit. Jesus Christ, Alpha and Omega. Directly behind me is the east gate. It's just there, just above my finger. At the moment it's blocked up. It was open, but it's been blocked up to stop the Jews using it. But it's believed that is where Jesus is going to return when he comes back to the earth. His feet will land on the Mount of Olives, which we've just been on, and then he will enter through them gates there. So for today's lunch, we've come to a traditional Israeli place, McDonald's! Of course I'm joking. We've seen quite a few different McDonald's and Pizza Huts around, but for lunch we've stopped off at a sort of this massive cinema, but it's a shopping mall as well. But we haven't got a lot of time before we have to get back on the coach, so we thought something quick, fast food, so we bought some McDonald's. Today we've been thinking about the 6-day war that took place in Jerusalem, and also what happened with Edmund Allenby. It's been a very nice day so far, and very sunny as well. So I'm going to enjoy my burger now. It's huge, look at the size of it. And I got wedgies instead of chips. And so did Mum. she didn't want me to say that. There you go. So I'm going to enjoy my lunch. I like this. We're on the edge of the top. All the different films. Thor, Hunger Games, Twilight. Some of my favourite films. And that's where we had lunch. Behind me is the Western Wall, which is the only remaining wall left of King Solomon's temple, which he built. It's also known as the Wailing Wall, and the temple that Solomon built was to house the Ark of the Covenant, which inside was the 10 Commandments that was written on the stone that Moses had given the Israelites. And now Jews come to pray here, and they write down their prayers on a piece of paper and puts it in the wall, and they also stand and pray. They have prayer books that they pray, because the Holy of the Holies was near this wall. So it's a really special sacred place, and I had a little pray there too, so it's nice to be involved in that. So this has been a very special trip for both of us, me and my mum, and I just wanted to get Mum's viewpoint on this, because obviously you've seen a lot about how I felt about the trip, but I just want to ask Mum. So what has been your highlight here in our trip to Jordan and Israel?
It definitely is being baptised in the Jordan River. That's really, really special. I was anxious beforehand, but through it I've had the peace that transcends all understanding. very special.
And as we saw earlier in the vlog, we saw Mum get baptised.
Yes.
And also, what has been the best place you visited while we've been here?
I think the Sea of Galilee. We went on the boat, and then halfway across the engines were cut out, and it was a very peaceful time to reflect on where we were and that Jesus had actually walked on the water there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's special, isn't it? And you've wanted to come to Israel for a long time, and that's kind of the reason we're here, is because you wanted to be here. How does it actually feel now to have finally fulfilled your dream of coming to the Holy Land?
Wonderful, especially getting baptised here, and seeing where Jesus walked, performed his miracles and the parables, and now through my Bible study everything will be in 3D, because I've actually experienced the places for myself.
And we've both learned a lot, haven't we? About just the country itself, the culture, the way people live here, but also the Jews and how important they are to God. They are God's people, and He has a plan for them. And as Christians, we're a part of that plan, aren't we?
Yeah.
So getting back.
And the view on Mount Nebo was so spectacular, so vast and panoramic. And God has made a covenant with the Jewish people that is their land.
Amen. As you can see, the sun is going down here on Mount Herzl, which we are on right now, and as the sun goes down, it shows today is the last day of our trip to Israel. We go back home tomorrow. We're going to fly back to Heathrow, back to London in the snow. Apparently, I think it's snowing there. We've had beautiful weather here, but it's been such an amazing trip. It's been surreal but special to see where Jesus walked and where the stories of the Bible happened. It means that when I read the Bible, it really comes to life, and I'll be able to see and visualise. I've been to the places where the Bible stories took place, but also I've learned a lot about Israel as a country and the Jews, and I really hope that this vlog has helped you learn too, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, it's quite sad actually. I don't want to leave. I definitely want to come back again in